So what is next for Dmitry Bivol after becoming undisputed at light heavyweight? Obviously, I was there to see him live in the flesh, win his undisputed titles in the rematch against Beterbiev. And yeah, it was like 2 weeks ago now. Time bloody flies, doesn't it? But yeah, what is next for Dmitry Bivol? Because we have heard that the WBC have said that they are now ordering David Benavidez to fight Dmitry Bivol for the undisputed light heavyweight titles. But Turki Alalshikh has came out and said that he's not interested in putting in a bid for the Dmitry Bivol versus David Benavidez fight. And it looks like he probably will be trying to push for the trilogy between Dmitry Bivol and Beterbiev. It's interesting in my opinion because I think David Benavidez versus Dmitry Bivol is a massive fight, and the fact that Turki Alalshikh doesn't want to put in a bid and fund that fight and try and make that happen on a big Saudi show, I don't understand because it's an absolutely huge fight. Dmitry Bivol has that, big European following especially, and you've got David Benavidez who's got a great following over in America. It does good sales, Benavidez and Dmitry Bivol, in my opinion. It's a huge fight. And it's a very good fight on paper as well, if we're being completely honest. I mean, I think Dmitry Bivol is definitely the number one light heavyweight in the world. He's got the belts to prove it, and skill for skill, he is as well. But the only two people who can really give Bivol a challenge is Beterbiev. We saw it in both the two fights. That him and Bivol can compete with each other and push it and of course push each other to their limits. And the other one who can put up a challenge against Dmitry Bivol is David Benavidez. Other than that, there's no one else in the division who's a threat to Dmitry Bivol whatsoever. So I don't understand why Turki Alalshikh's not interested in Bivol versus Benavidez when they got Benavidez to sit ringside for the fight, and Turki Alalshikh was saying throughout the build-up as well, the winner of this fight will fight David Benavidez. I don't get why Turki Alalshikh suddenly changed his mind on it when there's, big money that can be made when you put Bivol and Benavidez together. They're two different kind of styles. It's a very intriguing fight, in my opinion. You've got the number one in Bivol and you've got number 3 in David Benavidez. I mean, what would be better for all three? And what would be better for the fans? I mean, personally, I think a good thing for the fans would be a fresh matchup between Bivol and Benavidez. But another good thing for the fans though would be the big trilogy between Dmitry Bivol and Beterbiev. But if I'm being completely honest here, I'm pretty confident that Dmitry Bivol would win a trilogy against Beterbiev now. I feel like Bivol's starting to prove that he's definitely got a lot more left in the tank than what Beterbiev does. Bivol's still, fully fresh, and Bivol's still in his prime. 100% he is. With Beterbiev, he's still in his prime, but he's getting old now. And I do think there were definitely signs of that from Beterbiev in the rematch against Bivol. He is getting older now, and the first fight with him and Bivol, it clearly took quite a bit out of Beterbiev, and that was clear to see in that second fight, in the rematch. And Bivol just took advantage of it, and in my opinion was fairly dominant in that rematch. But we've then got David Benavidez, who's been waiting for a world title opportunity for ages now, and I feel like he's definitely earned it. He's coming off big wins. He's coming off a win against Govstick, and then he's coming off a win against David Morrell. So, he's proven already to be like the third best light heavyweight in the world right now, David Benavidez has. And I don't know any other fight that fully makes sense for Benavidez other than getting the title shot. I've seen people saying that, Benavidez and Callum Smith would be a good fight. I mean, yeah, on paper it's a good fight, but let's be real here. Benavidez doesn't need to fight Callum Smith. Benavidez can just go right in for that title fight. And the WBC have ordered David Benavidez to fight Dmitry Bivol anyway. So that's the thing. And Turki Alalshikh suddenly changed his mind on it though. But overall, I think it would be good for Artur Beterbiev to take a bit of a break. And I do think we should see the Bivol versus Beterbiev trilogy, but not next. I think that Bivol versus Benavidez should happen next. And I think, especially at Beterbiev's age, he should take a bit. He should take a few months out and then go in for the rematch again. Then go in for the trilogy rematch against Bivol. That's what I think Artur Beterbiev should do. It's best for him to take some time out, rest up. He's obviously, he comes about with loads of injuries here and there as well. We know what Artur Beterbiev's history is with injuries. He needs to take time out. That's what he needs to do. He needs to take time out. I feel like, the worst possibility for Artur Beterbiev would be to rush into a trilogy and take that in like 4 months. I feel like if Artur Beterbiev wants the trilogy against Bivol, I feel like he should wait till either really late this year, like December, or possibly, just go into it early next year. People might say, oh, it's not good that Beterbiev's having a year out. But I also don't think it's great for Artur Beterbiev to, go into, back-to-back camps against someone like Dmitry Bivol as well. And overall, I feel like Bivol's got the number of Beterbiev overall, even though they are always in good fights. I think Bivol would definitely win the trilogy, and I'm confident of that prediction as well. Bivol versus Benavidez, it's a nice fresh matchup with two different kind of styles. Benavidez deserves the title shot, and I feel like it'll be interesting to see Bivol in something new as well. And it's a fresh matchup where, it's going to get hype, it's going to get attention, Bivol and Benavidez, and it's going to bring in different kind of audiences as well from all around the world. So I don't see any reason why Turki Alalshikh should call this fight off and not put a bid in for it. It's best that Bivol versus Benavidez happens on a Saudi show. I don't know where Turki Alalshikh's appetite is gone for this fight, because it is a big fight and it will bring in money. And if you have the right undercard for it as well, it would be bloody massive. It would be bloody massive. It's a huge fight. And it's disappointing to see Turki Alalshikh just turn his back on it like that. And I feel like it's bad on David Benavidez as well with what Turki Alalshikh's doing with that. I feel like he's doing Benavidez a bit dirty after Benavidez was promised a title fight. But plus, it would be best for Beterbiev to sit out as well for a bit. But I do think Bivol needs a break as well. I mean, obviously, for Bivol, he is the younger guy than what Beterbiev is. So right now, Bivol is able to be more active than someone like Beterbiev and can get this fight in between. That's, the good thing about Bivol being the champ instead of Beterbiev. But Bivol does need a break. So I think that Bivol versus Benavidez should probably happen. I'd say possibly October time, if I'm being honest. Like Bivol, Benavidez, October time. And then if you think about it, actually, don't even put Beterbiev in there. And I obviously said about Beterbiev, Bivol versus Beterbiev trilogy in December. But thinking about that, Bivol needs that break. Then put if Bivol can get through Benavidez, which I think he will, but it'll be difficult. I think do Bivol versus Beterbiev the trilogy. February, March time in 2026. That's what I think could happen, in my opinion. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. And I feel like lots of different people are going to have opinions, different kind of opinions on what they think should happen with this whole situation. But let's wait and see. But I'm surprised that Turki Alalshikh massively turned his back on the Bivol versus Benavidez fight. But overall, would you say that the trilogy between Bivol and Beterbiev is the overall bigger fight? Probably. It is 1-1. But still, though, you don't fully know 100%. Benavidez has got a good following and can bring in an audience from America and Mexico. So, again, it's even more audiences coming in here. You've got more of the American-Mexican audience as well, and that European audience. So, again, Bivol Benavidez is a massive fight. But I don't think Turki Alalshikh sees it. But it does look like it will happen next. And I don't see Bivol turning Benavidez down. And I feel like Bivol is still going to want the trilogy against Beterbiev. But as I said, for Beterbiev's own sake as well, rest up. And for Bivol, rest up as well. Take the rematch. Then I think Bivol would be up for the trilogy. But if Bivol wants the trilogy next against Beterbiev, fully settle the score, fair enough. If he wants that next and he wants it soon, then yeah, do that. I still love both fights. I love both fights. Bivol and Beterbiev have had two bloody fantastic fights, and of course we got to see it again. We got to see them settle the score once and for all. That's what you get with all these great fighters. But Benavidez deserves a title shot, and I think him and Bivol's a fantastic stylist to match up, which will bring in money. Anyway, thank you all for watching.